Hello everybody, welcome to another special edition of the preview show delivered by FedEx. I'm your host Alan Cavana, back with all four of our experts from NASCAR.com. The chase for the NASCAR Sprint Cup field is down to 12 and we are entering the contender round. So before we get to these guys, let's take a look at the current chase grid. Brad Keselowski, Joey Logano, Jeff Gordon, they all made it in with wins. Then it went to points. Drivers like Jimmy Johnson, Dale Jr., Kevin Harvick. All three Joe Gibbs Racing drivers advanced, along with Ryan Newman and Carl Edwards, and then finally Kasey Kahne, who needed a heck of a comeback to make in that top 12. So to start us off, the only one of our experts who correctly picked all 12 members of the contender round, crew chief Brad Parrott. Brad, first off, congratulations. You're the only one to do it.
Good job, Brad Parrott.
There you go.
I'm not happy about that. Don't even clap for him.
Luck. You prepared. Brad, we saw how tough those first three races were. How much more does the intensity increase for the next three?
It's going to be huge. I mean, you've got 12 drivers going for 8 spots in these next 3 races. You got the Gibbs cars, who didn't run very well at all at Kansas the last race. You got Ryan Newman. He can get in the top 10, but he's going to have a bad race. So you got these 12 drivers going for 8 spots, and then you got Talladega.
Yeah, you said the buzzword Talladega. The next 3 tracks we go to, Kansas, Charlotte, and Talladega. Brad Keselowski said this round scares the absolute crap out of him, and he did not use the word crap. Other drivers have said this round should be called the heartbreak round. Bobby Labonte, we all know the damage and stuff that Talladega can bring, but what is it about these other 2 races, Kansas and Charlotte, that has the other drivers so scared?
Well, I think they can be kind of a cookie-cutter track for a lot of guys, but anything can happen. And I just feel like, all these guys, they're all going to practice really good. They're going to qualify good, but we saw Harvick at Dover, with the bow stem coming out. With the field now down to 12, then it's, you don't have 4 guys that you're probably going to beat, so it's just going to tighten the field up.
Yeah, and based on average finish in the first 3 races, Joey Logano was the best driver. But when you look at the next 3 tracks, Kansas, Charlotte, and Talladega, he has 0 career wins at any of those tracks. Meanwhile, guys like Jimmy Johnson, Jeff Gordon, 25 career wins at the 3 upcoming tracks. So Chris Rice, I'm throwing this to you. From a team perspective, is this the round where a team like Hendrick separates itself from Team Penske?
Well, I don't think it's the round that they separate themselves from, because they're already separated. Look at Jeff Gordon. Who said Jeff Gordon, or who thought Jeff Gordon could win like he's won this year? He's won a lot of races. I don't think they're going to separate themselves. I still think it's Penske, Hendrick, and I think Gibbs is really going to try hard to break that mix up. I think you're just going to see how good Penske and Hendrick really are.
But you also mentioned Gibbs. All 3 Gibbs cars made it into the top 12. That's a surprise for some. But Marty, I know you talked to those guys a lot.
Yeah.
Matt Kenseth had some good runs. Kyle Busch drove his butt off, especially in New Hampshire, to come back and get that good average finish up. And Denny Hamlin made it in. What do you think the prospects are for the Gibbs cars in this next contender round?
I think they're in a good position. I think, I talked to Jimmy Makar earlier this week, and he feels very positive about the direction they're heading. He thinks Kyle Busch, for example, is in a perfect position mentally to get himself into the next round and maybe even win the championship. I think he feels the same about Denny Hamlin, and Matt Kenseth has been very consistent. I agree, the one racetrack they're worried about is Kansas. They have not been that good there in the past. This is the type of racetrack they've worked extremely hard. So they feel very positive if they can just get through Kansas this weekend with top 10s. I think Gibbs feels pretty good about where they're at.
And the biggest mystery of the chase so far for me anyway is Kevin Harvick. I mean, we've seen him dominate races, we've seen him lead a ton of laps, but he doesn't bring home the win, just like we saw in the regular season. So Bobby and Marty, that's the reason I don't have Kevin Harvick in my Final Four, because I think
I do.
The bad luck. I think the bad luck's going to catch up with him. Do you think he gets through this round?
I think he can get through this next round. I think that they're fast. Obviously, they have a lot of speed, a lot more speed than a lot of the guys out here. It's just going to take some luck on their part. The pit crew is obviously a big concern for Kevin, I know, but I mean, he could win the next 2 races real easy, like he could have won the last 2 races real easy.
Could have, should have.
But at the same time,
you can't deny the speed, right?
But he's going to be. I mean, if he doesn't have a major problem and finish 15th and 20th. He's going to be in the top 5 probably. He might not win, but if he gets to the next round, I mean, the confidence that they'll build getting there is, it's so key right now to get to that next round.
Here's the one difference I see. I see in the regular season, Kevin Harvick was very upset with the pit crew. He was very vocal about it. In the playoffs so far, here in the chase, he's been fine. He's been normal. He has not been upset, and eventually they're going to be able to win these races. They can't have this many problems, and I think they have.
You can.
I know.
As long as I have, you can have a lot of problems.
I understand that, but you can't deny the speed Kevin Harvick has.
Sure.
And I think there's no way they don't advance out of this next round. I just think they're too good right now.
All right, and when you look at the first round, the 8th best driver in terms of average finish was Dale Earnhardt Jr. His average finish, 12.3. And remember, after Talladega, only the top 8 advanced. So to the crew chiefs over here, will something like that, a 12th place average finish, will that be enough at the end of these 3 races to have you in the top 8? What do you think?
Man, that will make the cut, but it would be awful scary.
I can tell you Steve Letarte thinks you're going to have a top 10 average finish to be able to get to the next round, which I think is accurate.
No, because you got Talladega, and that's going to knock the average finish down. To make it into the next round, you got to have 2 top 5 finishes in these next 2 races, because at Talladega, you're going to look for a 25th place finish. You're going to have a top 12 finish.
I'm looking at going to win. If you go win, let's go to Talladega. Let's take chances. Let's don't ride it to back. Let's go for it. Let's get up in the mix.
Everybody's worried about Talladega.
So then you go to Talladega, and if you have 2 top 5 finishes, say, well, I'm just going to ride around because I think that's the right place to be. Sometimes that's not the right place to be. You might, almost the mindset is lead. Like Matt Kenseth, he will probably lead every lap or try to lead every lap at Talladega, and he might already have 2 top 5 finishes, but it's still better for him to do that than to ride around because anything can happen there. So,
and at Talladega, these guys are going to be much more aggressive than you see them being. I don't think you'll see anybody riding in the back because Junior told me we tried that earlier this year at Talladega. We're not doing that again. We're going to be up front as much as we can all day long.
You cannot ride around at the back no more. Everybody's too good. It's not like we have anybody that's not good anymore.
And it's going to play itself out to where these top 12 are going to be in. They're going to have great finishes.
We know it's going to be good. We know that part. So before we get to Talladega, though, we go to Kansas this weekend, and we love to pick winners here on the preview show. I think I picked one a few weeks ago, so I won't hold my record up too high. But we're going to start with you, Marty. Marty, who's winning in Kansas?
I am going to go with Kevin Harvick. You cannot deny the speed this race team has had. The car they're bringing this weekend has been phenomenal. Its worst finish this year is second. It's finished first, second. It's led the most laps in 3 of the 4 races it's run. They are so confident about the race car they're bringing this weekend. I'm going to go Kevin Harvick, and I think finally the problems will not happen this weekend.
All right, Bobby, quickly, who's winning?
I'm going to pick Jimmy Johnson.
Really?
Yeah.
All right,
you sound like he's not ever won anything before. I think those guys can dig deeper than anybody else when it comes to a win.
All right, Brad Parrott, who's winning in Kansas?
Well, since Marty picked Harvick, I'm going to change mine to Jeff Gordon.
Jeff Gordon, okay. Chris Rice, who's winning in Kansas?
I'm going to be quiet. It's going to be the 22 because he's been quiet.
Another Penske car. I'm going with Jeff Gordon as well. So we got a bunch of different drivers from all different teams. May the best pick win. All right, thank you guys for joining us, and thank you for watching the preview show delivered by FedEx. Have a great weekend, everybody.